Hi, this is Scott from Piasa Armory. Today I'm going to show you how to take apart a Mossberg 715T. The first step, as with any time you take apart a firearm or clean a firearm, is to make sure that it is unloaded. So first we'll make sure we remove a magazine, if there is one in there. Rotate that lever downward. Pull your bolt back with your thumb and press downward on that lever. That'll lock your action open. You can check to look inside, make sure there's no rounds in there. And checking your magazine well, make sure there's no magazine. The first piece you'll need to take apart is the stock. You'll notice a screw head here, one on the other side as well. Unscrew the left side screw, and then once that's done, that's a bolt underneath, just push it straight out. Now that your stock has been removed, if you have a carry handle rail mount, you want to unscrew that now too. Now that you have the carry handle mount taken off, there are 11 screws you'll have to remove. You got 2 in the grip here, 2 in your front carry handle, 1 on your magazine well, 2 on the back of your handguard, 2 on the front of your handguard, and then 2 on your front sight post. Now that you have all 11 of those screws out, you can pop your handguards off, both sides, and slide your sling mount off the front of the barrel. Notice under here there is a socket head screw in here. You'll have to unscrew that to remove your receiver cover. Now that you've removed the takedown screw from underneath the grip area, the last thing you'll have to remove is the screw from your magazine release. Once that's done, those receiver shells will pop right off. Now you can separate your 2 halves of the shell. Pull straight up. Make sure you don't lose your rear sight from the rear piece. And then you've got one more screw to take out right here. This is a 5/32 Allen head. That'll take care of that. Once you're done, you're ready to take that shell out, or take the receiver out and take it apart. Next, using your punch, you will knock out this pin and this pin. Make sure you flip your rifle over when you do that. Support it from underneath while you hit that so you don't damage anything. So knock out these pins right here. Now that you've removed your 2 pins, hold on to your trigger housing assembly, pull back on your bolt, and lift up on that handle so it lets it forward, just gently. And once you get it about halfway cycled forward, you can gently lift up on your trigger housing and forward. Once it begins to clear the front of the action, you can take it straight forward. Be careful, there is a spring underneath here. Pull your spring out. There's a little spacer in here as well, and also your charging handle. Once you've done that, pull your bolt out toward the back, and you're apart, ready for cleaning. Once you've cleaned, you want to make sure you get it well lubricated. Get a quick shot down in the action here, and lubricate your bolt body as well. The first step in reassembly, take your charging handle, slide it in through the ejection port. Take your bolt body, drop it into the action. Notice there's a small notch on here. This is where your charging handle rests. I'm going to drop that on top of the charging handle. Slide everything forward. This is your main spring. You'll notice there is a pin resting inside of that. That'll be toward the back of the action. If you look inside of your action, you'll notice there's a small pocket. That's where that rests. You'll also find a similar pocket on top of your bolt body. So you'll slide that spring in. And using a flat-bladed screwdriver or other similar flat tool, get that spring down into the action. And into that hole. Next, you'll take your spacer block. Notice it's got an angle on the bottom of it. That corresponds to an angle inside your receiver. Drop it in. And then your trigger housing. Put it in back in first. While you're holding that down, Give some good pressure with your index finger on your other hand. Push backwards on your bolt assembly and downward. You lock your bolt back just like you do to clean it, and then you're ready to install your pins. Now that your trigger housing is reinstalled, grab your half of your shell and install the assembly into it. Be careful that your magazine release engages the release on the gun, and with your longer of the two Allen head screws, you'll install right here. Next, take the other half of your shell. Be sure that you don't drop out your rear side assembly, and place it over the top. And you want to line up your magazine catch drop the other half over the top and install the screw. Next, take the shorter of your Allen head screws and install it into the hole in front of your receiver. Then, take your front sling attachment point, slide it onto the barrel, and install your two handguard halves. Make sure that they fully engage these notches up top here, and that your front sling mount also is in the proper spot on them. Just like that. Install both halves, press them together nice and tight. Now we will reinstall those 11 screws. Remember, you've got 2 up front here, 2 on the front of your handguard, 2 on the rear of your handguard, 1 on the magazine well, 2 on your grip, and 2 on your carry handle. Now that you have everything tightened back down, you can reinstall your stock assembly. Slide it in, and push your pin through. Flip your rifle over, and install the screw, and tighten everything down. Next, we're going to show you how to take apart the magazine. Now to take apart your magazine, you'll notice there are 6 screws. You'll need to remove each of them. Now, separate the 2 halves. You'll have to slide this button all the way to the bottom. Be careful, your spring is now very compressed. Don't want to send it across the room. Then remove your spring and follower, and your magazine is apart. Now it's time to put everything back together. Take your plastic follower, put it into your metal magazine body. On your magazine plastic body, you'll notice there's a small rounded channel. Drop your plastic follower into it, slide it about halfway up, put your metal magazine body in, and your spring. Slide all the way up to the top. Place your other spring into the bottom. And then you'll install the other half of the magazine body over the top of it. Now that you've got the 2 halves back together, tighten all the screws down, and you're all done. Remember, with any magazine, you do not need to oil the insides. It'll just collect dirt, grime, and debris. If you'd like to see more, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Piasa Armory, and check us out online, piasaarmory.com, or our web store, store.piasaarmory.com. Thank you.